Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse podcast. You can see if you're watching. I recommend watching because you can actually check out the tools. So go on YouTube or
and
X
the toys
or
and all the toys behind me.
Yeah, if you're just listening, you're totally missing out. But I highly recommend watching. But if you're not watching, you already know from your ears that we have Jon here. So you can find Jon on the X at JohnPGH. And you can find me, Tim Kanak, at Fantasy Ace Ball. And again, no Doc. He just told us, he's like, hey, I can do nighttime as we were like already playing.
Yeah,
this, like,
I wasn't even supposed to be doing these. This was supposed to be your thing, and here I am every time. So.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, it's fun. I feel like we're friends now. Tim was always just a guy on the internet, but now we're like boys without ever meeting.
Yeah.
Someday.
Exactly. Only virtual boys.
Yeah. How much water a day do you drink, Tim? That's the question of the day.
Oh, not enough. So we could we can go down a huge health rabbit hole. So I wake up, I'm big on the H2 tabs, which are like a thing now, right? The hydrogen tabs. And so when I wake up, I throw one of those in a pint of water, down it. Yeah. Then I grab another pint of water. I put salt in it. So I put some salt in there, and I put in there some minerals. And by the way, I live in in a rural area, in like a farm area, so I'm on well water, so I don't have all the crap, destroying my brain cells that a lot of people have. Water. Yeah. So I've got like real well water, and then I put minerals in there, and then I put in catnip, which.
Oh my goodness! I just wanted to know how much water you drink.
I'm telling you, I'm going on the rabbit hole. So
what's in catnip?
Yeah. Catnip has the reverse effects on humans than it has on cats. So it's like crack for cats, right? Like if you've ever given a cat catnip, they go crazy. They start rolling around like having a trip or whatever. So if a human has catnip, it actually provides humans like a very calming effect. So their mind gets chill. So I drink that first thing in the morning before I open all my emails because I own 7 businesses. And so it's like I wake up to like 1,000 emails every day. And if I didn't do that, I'd just be like, oh my God, look at all these people. All these people want all this crap from me. Okay. It's been a long time since I've done any drugs. So it's not like I can wake and bake. It's not like I can wake and bake. So it's like.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing now. Everybody just grabs an edible or whatever.
Yeah.
On the catnip. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm on the catnip. I've got 5 kids. I can't smoke a J in the morning.
You've like overshot. I mean, I thought you were like all natural, but you've like overshot the all natural thing and you're going into some like wild stuff. But
no, I joke that my wife is like a witch doctor. She has like a robe that has like a bunch of like vials of just random crap in it. And so she's the one who got me on the catnip, but she has all kinds of little potions and stuff. And
okay, so do you we can move on, but is it like you go to a pet store and buy this, or is there some other human way to?
No, you can get it online. So like most of our medications are all natural, whatever.
But the catnip thing, like if I wanted to try it, I don't go to the pet store, right?
No, my wife would just send you the link. Like she makes her own laundry detergent, for instance. Like everything, like all our food is all homemade, like like organic. Like she makes her own bread. She makes her own laundry detergent. Like we don't have like basically anything in the middle of a store, in a grocery store. We will not buy anything in there. Like everything is outer edges, or it's like whatever organic, farmer's market.
And you do know you're still gonna die, though, right?
Well, I am.
You can't even just say yes.
No. Well,
not if our next business idea works out, I won't.
Yes, exactly. I'm 38 and I just did blood work, and it says that my blood work says I'm 28. So all right. I don't know. I'm already 10 years younger blood work wise than I should be. So health wise, I am staving off old age.
So I run a lot and I drink a lot of water and I don't eat too much. So I feel good, but I haven't gone down the roads that you've gone to, but maybe as
Athletic Greens. And I'm drinking Athletic Greens right now too.
Okay. I mean, it's just I have this mason jar of water, so I feel pretty good about myself. But let's get into the Orioles.
Actual baseball. Yes. Yeah, we're talking about the Orioles, and so before we lean into this one, as I discussed, all systems are different. We just talked about the Braves. You were fairly disgusted with a number of their prospects in their top 20. We talked about the Angels, which were even worse, and nobody even wanted to go on that podcast with me because the Angels are the Angels and the Rockies are so bad that I asked multiple people, just besides you and Doc, to jump on that podcast, and nobody would go on with me. Yes.
Shut up. Oh my goodness. Stop. Sorry, that's my new Apple HomePod.
It's staying in. The Orioles are sick. This might be my favorite system. Top 3 for sure.
Even with all the graduations that have happened?
Yes, even with all the graduations. And remember, a number of the guys that we're going to talk about may have hit the MLB, but they're still prospect eligible.
Yeah. What about, first, before we start, it's almost, we're drawing closer to catcher week. Everybody in the fantasy baseball world knows catcher week. It's when all the content guys, usually in February, we all start with the position previews, and then, catcher's always the first one. So I think last year I think I started revert. I did catchers last just so I could be like, okay, I'm not gonna. But you do have to write a position preview and stuff. Anyway, Adley Rutschman garbage last year. I feel like this will be the most affordable he's ever been in fantasy. Do you have any insight onto that? I don't know. He'll probably be a number 7 or 8 catcher or something next year. I think there was a lot of injuries and stuff last year, right? But do you have any takes on him?
All right, so I was actually doing some of my catcher rankings for Dynasty last night, and I'm still playing around with it, so I'm not really set. But he's he's probably barely top 10.
Yeah,
if even. I don't know. The last year and a half, roughly, have been pretty rough for him. I'm in a 30-team league right now with Doc actually in it. And I have a $22 million Adley Rutschman, and this league is on salaries, so it's he's $22 million, and right now he's going to be a free agent. So either I can extend him to a contract for 3 years, $3 million increase a year, so it'd be $25 million, or I can cut him. I'm 100% going to cut him to $22 million. Wow. There's no way that I keep him for that kind of money. So I buy Adley Rutschman. Yeah, that's on a $200 million cap. So there's no way I'm giving.
I like that you did 200 million rather than just 200. Why not 200 zillion? Why not?
I did not design.
It's I've thought about doing that for the a fantasy football league or something. You have Fab, the free agent auction, and it's okay, we'll give 100. But I was well, why not make it 100 billion, and then you can be bidding.
Well, I guess you try to do it based on the average budget. I think the average MLB team is probably around 200 million, so I guess it's somewhat realistic. Yeah. So in that way, if you give someone a $20 million contract, it's kind of okay, in a real baseball, what is this guy getting, right? Yeah. So you might figure hey, Josh Naylor's a free agent. How much money is Josh Naylor really going to get in real baseball? 20 million a year? I bet he does. I bet he gets. He probably makes 100 mil. You think he gets 5 years and 100 million from someone?
I wouldn't do that, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but he probably will. So
it's easy to say for us, but when you have to outbid 15, 16 other suitors, then you got to overpay sometimes to get the guy. So
yeah, exactly. All right, Orioles. So let's hit it. If you want to throw the chart up, so there's the chart. There's our top 20. We're gonna kind of briefly go through each of these guys because, like I said, it's a really fun system. So instead of spending a lot of time on 5 guys, I'd rather kind of talk about each guy for a minute or so. So number 20 is a relief pitcher, Tyson Neighbors. And Tyson Neighbors, if you want to throw him up on the outscores, John, is actually one of the best performing. He might be the best relief pitcher by outscores. He's one of my favorites. And I know that I think his mom follows me too. So shout out to Tyson Neighbors' mom here. But look at that, 133 F stuff, 125 F control, FERA 100, okay. But as far as just K walk stuff right there, that's very, very insane for Tyson Neighbors. He had a 36.4% K rate this year, 26.3 K minus walk. And the swing strike rate, John, 19.8 swing strike rate this year in the minors for Tyson Neighbors. He came over too. So this is a guy that they got in the who did the Padres trade for from the Orioles this year? So they got him at the deadline. What was that trade? Who did they get? Padres, Orioles. Because they sent a ton of dudes over to Baltimore, the Padres.
Yeah, Ryan O'Hearn from Laureano.
Yeah, that trade. So he came over in that trade, Tyson Neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah, Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn. Yep, but I like Tyson Neighbors a lot for reliever.
Definitely a reliever though. Do you move
for
that
sure.
guy?
He has never started. He did throw 59 innings this year though, and he probably like based on his stuff, he's probably a potential closer in the future. He like never has over a 1 whip. His whip is under 1 at every level that he's pitched in, and he's striking everybody out like 20% swinging strike rates, almost like 40% CSWs. Wow. So the stuff is fairly insane.
Okay, what holds him down? Why wait? I don't understand with a reliever.
He's 22, so I bet he debuts next year. Yeah. Like I'd be very, very.
It seems like it seems like a large portion of relievers, major league relievers, actually came up in the minors as starters. Is that? I mean, I don't know.
He always has relieved. He has not ever made 1 start, and he was a 4th round pick out of Kansas State.
That seems weird. That's interesting.
Yeah,
but I would think that would speed up their, trip through the system.
Here you go. Actually, in college, he also never made a start, so he has never started. Even in Kansas State, he did not start.
Very interesting.
Yep.
Good for him.
Yep. Okay.
He knows what he wants.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but future closer maybe, so keep an eye on that one. Number 19, Jordan Sanchez. He's a fun name. Played in complex this year, most of the year. Barely played. I think he only played like 4 games or something at A-ball. But there's some big-time power here with Jordan Sanchez. So that's what you're buying into. Like there's a decent amount of swing and miss here with him. And there's a lot of Ks, so bad contact rates, but there's a lot of power. So Jordan Sanchez, big-time power outfielder.
Barely has played in pro ball. So
barely in pro bay, so in pro ball, but so that's why he's so far down the list. But I do like him. Number 18, Esteban Mejia. This is a dude that a lot of people are drafting way higher than this, actually. So I'm taking place right now. We talked about it in the last pod in the Tool Shed mock draft. So this is a mock draft with 15 industry people. Doc and I are both in it. You've got all kinds of industry people in there. I'm not going to name anyone else because then I'll forget someone and they'll get mad that I didn't say their name. But basically, there's tons of people in there that you probably know. But Esteban Mejia, let me find out where he was picked because I know he was picked really high in this thing, like way higher than I would have ever picked him just because people really like him. No, and it won't let me control F it. But I think he was picked as like a top 100 guy.
This is a total mock though. Like it's not. There's no like real
all prospects. So it's
but it's a mock draft too. So you're not even like really putting any future
skin in the game.
Yeah. So
yeah, exactly. But he was a top 100 pick in this thing, I think. But which is pretty crazy. Old. Yeah, pretty crazy for an 18-year-old who was barely pitching A-ball, but he throws 102 miles an hour. Oh. And he's got heat. And he also has a 2-seamer that is insane. Like there's like tons of movement. Like I love his 2-seamer. I actually like his 2-seamer more than his 4-seamer that hits 102. And then he has a gyro slider that he throws 90 miles an hour and a changeup too. But like my favorite of his pitches is the 2-seamer because it has just really nasty movement. And I don't know. This is the thing. I don't know if he qualifies that 2-seamer as a sinker or as a 2-seamer because they have the same movement profile, 2-seamer and sinker. And it's more just like what you're going to call it is basically what that pitcher feels like they're throwing, right? Just how like
there's a difference? Those are synonyms to me, 2-seamer and sinker.
I would say that if I was to judge, I would say that a sinker is going to have more drop to it than a 2-seamer.
Huh.
But it's basically the same pitch, and no pitcher throws a sinker and a 2-seamer. So there you go. I don't know, like just offhand, if it's a 2-seamer or sinker, but I really like that pitch. Biggest knock for me on Mejia, and the reason I don't have him ranked like a lot of these other people have him, is the control. His walk rates have been fairly high, and again, he's only made 3 starts at A-ball so far. So like a lot of what he's done so far is at complex. But the swinging strike rate stuff is there, and the stuff itself is insane. So like I can't really if someone wants to rank him higher as like a top 15 Orioles guy or whatever, like I have no problem with that. Going top 10 for him in this system though is kind of crazy to me. So it kind of is like a risk profile. Like some of the starters we're going to talk about ahead of him may not have the stuff that Mejia has, but they are a lot more polished at this point in time. And with a pitcher, if you're closer to the majors and you have better command, like I'm kind of going to buy that just because like Mejia for all we know, next year gets hurt and has to get Tommy John, and then it completely takes a stock. Yeah. So that's kind of how I feel about pitchers. Number 17 is shortstop Griff O'Ferrell, who also came over from the Padres. I want to say, I'm pretty sure that was the same trade. So Griff O'Ferrell, shortstop. Actually, no, sorry, not the same trade. I'm thinking of one of their other shortstops came over. But Griff O'Ferrell was actually picked by the Orioles in the second round, 2024. But he is a contact guy with speed. 44 steals this year in the minors. And one of the things that you're going to love about O'Ferrell, if you want to pull up O'Ferrell on the F scores here, he had an 86% contact rate on the season. That's not zone contact. That is just his contact rate, 86% contact. So a lot of contact here. The reason the hit tool is only going to read 102, though, is because he's not necessarily making quality contact. We don't have measurements of barrel rates on him yet. So you're going to be looking at line drives basically for that and trying to see like power. Is he pulling it? Is he hitting the ball in the air? There is not really much of a power profile here for him, but he's a high contact, high speed guy. And the power is not nothing. Like, he did have 4 bombs. Yeah. He probably profiles more of like a doubles guy, but I don't think he's just a rabbit, right? Like, I think he's going to profile as better than a rabbit.
We don't have, like, on this dashboard, we don't have the batted ball stuff, but what you said is pretty apparent, meaning, like, you can assume that the launch angle stuff is bad because look at these 3 numbers I highlighted, like a 228 batting average on a 15% K rate. I mean, you can almost calculate you could calculate the BABIP from this, but crazy low BABIP. I mean, you usually see a 15% K rate turn into like easily a 270 batting average, and it's a big sample size too, so it's not even like, a lot of that randomness must have ironed out. So yeah, he must be hitting a lot of pop-ups and ground balls in business. So.
Yep, we have a 266 BABIP is what Fangraphs has. Okay. On their thing, and then they also have him at a 26% pop-up rate. So that's a lot. That's a lot of pop-ups.
The worst batted ball to hit. If you're not strong, you should not be hitting balls in the air. That's what I would say. I mean, you see a fly ball is obviously incredible, an incredible outcome for Aaron Judge, but when you are Stephen Kwan, like, you don't want to be hitting too many fly balls because those aren't going to fly very far very often. But someone to watch, 122 speed, 121 discipline. That sounds like a ton of steals to me.
Yes, it does. And number 16 is Braxton Bragg, starting pitcher. He would have easily been top 10. Probably, like, I don't know if he might have been number 5. He might have been top 5. Probably even top 5 if he did not get hurt. He just got hurt at the end of the season and has to get Tommy John surgery. So that means we're not going to see him now for like a year and a half. And he was already 24 years old. So that means by the time he's back now, he's going to be a 26-year-old prospect. But Braxton Bragg, if you want to pull him up now, John, had a 25.5 K minus walk rate this year between high A and double A. You see a 116 F stuff, 120 F control, 104 F ERA. He was one of the better pitchers in baseball this year in the minors before he got hurt and had to get TJ. So he basically got hurt at the very end of July. And I don't know, if he has actually had the surgery yet at this point. I'm assuming he probably got it. Okay. Looks like he actually did. He did get the surgery. So that's good. So he got the surgery, which means he's probably going to be out all of 2026 and he'll be back for like the beginning of 2027 because usually it's like a 14-month recovery time or whatever for TJ. So we'll probably see Braxton Bragg. That means in 2027 or for a week or whatever at the end of 2026. But he was really good this year. And the only thing pushing him down is the injury to me.
Highest K to walk in the Orioles system is what I showed here. And then if we look at what he do, 10 start. How many guys were over 25% and more than 10 starts? Good number, but he's like around number 20 to 25 in all of baseball or something. So, but yeah, I guess no reason to dwell on him since we'll have to revisit next year. But I'm guessing a lot of people will forget about him by then.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be a good value at that point. Number 5, especially because he'll be 26. People will overlook him just based on that. They're going to see 26-year-old prospect, and just skip him. Number 15 is Nestor German, and I'm not sure if he's related to Domingo German or not, I'm sure that was your first thought when you saw that.
It actually was. That's right, Tim. It was. Yeah.
Or if he was the love child of Nestor Cortez and Domingo German, or two former Yankees. Who knows what they did in the locker room together? But 15 Nestor German.
It's not. They're not brothers. So all the people that are. Never mind. I was gonna make something about the domestic violence stuff, but I'll leave it alone. He's clear. He's clear of that.
Clear of that. Nestor German has more of like a back of rotation type profile. He doesn't throw 102 like Esteban, and but he does have pretty good command. He's got a 4-pitch mix. He's got a fastball curve, slider, splitter. Low 90s fastball here. But German is good. So this is why we're bringing him up ahead of Esteban, is because Nestor German has a higher track record of success at this point. He has done it in pro ball, and you pulled him up here. 108 F stuff, 110 control, 105 F ERA. So he's pretty good, like all across the board here. He is 23, and he's already reached AAA. So there's a very good chance that he debuts at some point next year. And like I said, like he doesn't have killer stuff, but a 19 K- walk rate last year through high A, double A, triple A, below 10% walk rate. So 9% walk rate amongst all three levels last year. He did have a little bit of struggles at triple A in a couple starts, but who doesn't when you're trying to deal with the new ABS, smaller
like he
zone,
gave up
and all this
stuff. 3 homers in 2 starts, pretty random stuff there, and that can really wreck your ratios in a hurry. But yeah, anytime you see so I filtered to AAA just so you can kind of see the advanced data, and it says 14% barrel rate allowed. That will certainly not be true next year. Almost, I did a post about this last offseason. I'll be bringing it up again, but I looked at the history of all pitchers that gave up a barrel rate above 12% in 1 year, and then looked at what they did the next year. And 80% of the time it comes down by more than a point or two. So there's a lot of randomness in there. So that's not the greatest point for this guy particularly, but just a more general fantasy baseball point. It's good to buy in on these kind of guys, good K to walk ratios, but high barrel rates allowed, because this home run stuff, fly ball stuff, barrel rate stuff, very likely to improve next year. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. And he's close with pretty good. There's nothing that screams at you that, hey, this is a concern with German, which is why I like him, right? He profiles, based on those F scores right there, he profiles as a pretty solid number 3, number 4 type starter. So deeper leagues is definitely a dude you're interested in. Not a top 100, 150 guy, but top 250 or something like that would not be out of the question as far as full rankings, which again shows you how strong this Orioles system is when the number 15 guy in the system might be a top 250 prospect overall. Pretty solid. Number 14 is Enrique Bradfield Jr.,
my boy.
who you texted me about him the other day, and you're like, I discovered this guy, Enrique Bradfield Jr. And I was like, hold on here. First off, he was a first-round pick, so the dude has pedigree. But Enrique Bradfield Jr. is known as a glove-first outfielder. When he was picked, he was known as okay, this guy's an 80 grade defender here, maybe a potential future Gold Glover. And he's definitely speed first profile. And so while we just mentioned Griff O'Ferrell, I don't think will be a rabbit. I think there's enough power in there to keep him out of rabbit territory. I think that Enrique Bradfield Jr. is total rabbit. This is basically
right.
a light version. And you mentioned it. Is he?
This was my case. Yeah. But here, first I thought this is funny, or maybe not. First I said, this is a speedy outfielder, good defense, I assume, steals. I was like, is he related to Jackie Bradley? And I was like, well, if he was Jackie Bradley's son, he wouldn't be named Enrique Bradley Jr. because
Bradfield.
Right, sorry. Same thing, Jackie. Oh, you're right. I didn't have the name wrong. Yeah, Jackie. Okay. All right. So I was totally off.
But you're trying to make everybody a relative. John.
But imagine I was right. I was thinking, because my first question was, okay, they're both named Bradford, which I was wrong about, but ignore that. I was like, is Enrique Bradford Jr.'s, is he the son of Jackie Bradley Jr.? It's no, the son of Jackie Bradley Jr. would be probably Jackie Bradley III or Enrique Bradfield without the junior. And I was like, well, could he be a brother or something? It's just you're right. I need to move on from this, this relation stuff, but it's so common in baseball. But here's this post I wrote where he came up. I kind of just looked at like distributions of steals and stuff, and you kind of see like the history. Basically, long story short, not the point of this podcast, but steals went way up in 2023, as you remember, and they've pretty much stayed the same since then, more or less. But he came down here like, I'm starting to get in that mode where I know I'll be doing, around Thanksgiving, I'll be doing a 50-round NFBC draft, and I'll be looking for that as like number 44 or whatever, like 40th round, 50th round pick. And it seemed like this is a guy who could be a late, the Chandler Simpson kind of guy who comes up in the middle of the year and is just like your team really needs steals, and he can kind of plug him in there and he can steal you like 3-4 bases a week like Simpson did. That I don't know what the Cedric Mullins stuff is. It seems like he's probably, I don't know what the contract is. I could have looked that up. Probably would have been good investigation, but it seems like Mullins probably doesn't have much of a future left in the major league. So it seems like Bradfield and the Seth Stevenson guy were two guys I picked out as like guys that could make the majors next year, that could fit in a lineup defensively and steal a bunch of bases. So that's where that came from. And then you can check out articles like this as we go forward. I'll be writing a bunch of stuff like this throughout the winter to try to get through all this all. But that's my story about Enrique, and you put a big old bucket of cold water on it.
Yeah, I think I basically told you he's Harrison Bader with 0 power.
And I thought that was harsh. I thought that was harsh. So I'll defend Enrique, who I just found out about 2 days ago.
Come on, Harrison Bader is underrated. He's not bad. He's pretty solid as a former Cardinal.
You mean like the earlier version of Bader, I guess, when he was just like playing elite defense and stealing bases. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, this is why I don't like Bradfield. Is if you pull up his exit velocities, he has a 101.8 90th and a 103.8 max EV. And his air pull is 5.6%.
But good.
That's terrible.
Good. No, but it works for it. Like, if it's Chandler Simpson, we're just talking about different things. I'm talking about him as a steals streamer next year, and you're making more sense to talk about the overall value of the player. Like that's the point of all this. But so I need to get my head out of this very specific thing. But just to make this point further, that like with Chandler Simpson, the way he did it, the way he got to fantasy value last year was by hitting a ton of ground balls and just running to first. Ground balls, line drives, don't strike out. I don't want him to hit the ball in the air. I don't want Chandler Simpson to hit a fly ball because it's going to be caught every time. It's not going to fly far enough. So those are the kind of little cheat code-ish roto stolen base guys you can find, and you really shouldn't mind at all that if they're hitting a bunch of ground balls or lack of fly balls or pulling or whatever, because you just want them to get on to first. But that's it.
I can't wait until we start this new dynasty league and your entire farm system is just relatives. It's like you're like picking like Drew Jones is like the first guy,
all in the family,
Pablo Guerrero,
all the holidays,
Ethan Holiday. Yeah. It's like your whole team is just relatives. Yeah. All right, so number 13 is Luis De Leon, starting pitcher. Luis De Leon, really interesting dude. This guy popped to me at the end of the season. I've mentioned before that I have my podcast. I do T10s. So basically T10 is like top 10 guys for the week. And at the very end of the season, Luis De Leon was just ripping. Like every week I was like wanted to put him on this thing. So what he did at the end of the season is his command got significantly better. So when you pull him up on here, you see the game log. Like look at his last starts in here. Like 8 Ks, 3 walks, 8 Ks, 3 walks, 8 Ks, 1 walk.
I think I have a good do I have a monthly one here?
You just had the game log up there, which kind of speaks for what I like to look at. Is just like to see trending. Like you'll see trending how guys are doing better as they get. So you can see here, look in August. He had a significantly better numbers from August onward. So pull up just his K- walk from August now, John. So we can see his K- walk. So his K- walk on the season was roughly what, like 19% or something like that?
17.6% last
17.6. Now let's look from August on.
From August on. Goes up to 31%.
31%, exactly. This is my dude right here. So this guy at the very end of the season just went off, and you see massive gains in command through his last few starts here. So total, what is that? 59 strikeouts and 6 walks over his last 7 starts?
6.
1, 2, 3, 7 starts.
Or 7 outings, 6 starts. Yeah.
6 starts. Okay, so
7 outings.
So one,
right.
He didn't 7 outings. That's less than a walk per start, with basically almost like 8 or 9 Ks per start. That is really, really good. So I think Luis De Leon figured something out. I also like his repertoire a lot. Fastball, slider, really sick. for De Leon. So I'm a big fan of Luis De Leon. 110 stuff, 103 control, 113 FERA. But remember, that's taking his numbers over the last 2 seasons when you're looking at those F scores. So if you're just like looking at trending, like this guy is trending way up. Like very, very good end of season for Luis De Leon. So next on the list is going to be an outfielder. It's Austin Overn, outfielder with the Orioles. This guy actually popped up to me in F scores too. So I kind of liked him. And he had some really nice end of season numbers too. But the F scores really liked him. And he had a very interesting season. A lot of Ks in this profile here, but he had 13 home runs and 64 steals on the season as a 22-year-old in high A and double A. And at double A, John, 21 stolen bases and only 1 time caught stealing. So it's not like he's just like, getting destroyed. And the contact is not terrible. 71.7% contact rate. You will live with that if you get that kind of power speed. So you can see on the F scores, 104 power with a 144 speed, 99 hit tool. So maybe the hit tool is not as good as Enrique Bradfield Jr.'s, but there is power here in this profile. And I would much rather take a 10 or 15 homer guy who can steal 60 bags than like a 1 or 2 home run guy who's going to steal 60 bags. Like, obviously you have to factor in that Bradfield has elite defense, so he's going to get playing time no matter like how bad he is at the plate, where Overn has some contact issues. But that's a lot more fun for fantasy to me than going with the rabbit type.
Low swing rate too. So I think a lot of these guys that have high K rates and kind of some contact trouble, but you're right, that's not like a horrible number. You could probably knock off a point or two on the K rate just by swinging like more, just like stop taking strike one and swing at it a little bit more and get a couple more balls in play. So I always kind of like to see that, like a higher K rate with a lower swing rate means there's some room for just like a basic change in approach could knock a couple points off of that, rather than like the worst are the guys that are swinging at everything and striking out a ton. It's like you're totally hopeless because if you stop swinging that much, you're just taking more strikes and then you're still going to strike out. So little strategy there.
Yep. Number 11 is a guy that they got from Toronto in a trade. It's Juaron Watts-Brown, starting pitcher with the Orioles.
Name. That's the hardest name to type.
It's spelled J-U-A.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is type J-U-A and it'll pop up automatically because there's nobody else with that name. So Juaron Watts-Brown, I want to say that he had the highest swinging strike rate of qualified starters in the minors this year. If it's not it's like top 5. His breaking stuff is ridiculous. So again, he's not Esteban Mejia. He's not going to throw 102 miles an hour. He has kind of like a mid fastball, but the breaking stuff is insane for this guy. And you just pulled him up. His fastball, look at that. He's got a 10.6 vertical movement on the fastball. So despite only a 93 velocity on that thing, that's a ton of ride. So you're going to factor in somewhere between 6 to 8 points of gravity. So if you're the type of person who follows IVB instead of vertical movement, a 10.6 vertical movement means that with IVB, with the gravity effect, you're looking at like a 16 to 19% IVB, or not percent, inch IVB, which is near elite. That's definitely plus 11.3% swing strike rate on that pitch. And that slider that you had there, John, that's a 30% swing strike rate on that slider over that sample size. And it's not a small sample size. That's almost 1,000 pitches. So 167 pitches there, and a 30.5% swing strike rate on the slider is absolutely ridiculous.
That is wild.
Yeah, and the cutter too, 23.8% on the cutter, 23.7% on the changeup. Like every single pitch this guy throws has a plus swing strike rate on it. So I'm a big fan of Juaron Watts-Brown. Command is not elite, but
the strike rates on breaking balls. I mean, the cutter's not quite a breaking ball, but so the strike rate, the way I do it is that a ball in play does not count as a strike. And I'm right. I'm just right on that. But if you go to Fangraphs and other people and they call strike rate, they're calling a ball in play a strike, which is crazy. It's not a strike. I mean, like, why are you calling something that's not a strike? So I differentiate it, and that's why you see this strike ball BIP. That's like right here, Everywhere where I have space in the dashboards, I put strike ball BIP because those 3 will always add up to 100%. So BIP is ball in play. So a strike can be a called strike, a swinging strike, or a foul ball. And we also don't give pitchers credit for foul balls very often. Like a lot of these stats that about strike rate, I guess strike rate does, but I don't know. Like a foul ball is a good outcome for a pitcher, so I try to bake that into the trio there. But yeah, a 55% strike rate. I mean, more than half of that is coming from the whiffs, but 25% of the time it's being taken for a strike or fouled off too. So the typical slider strike rate is like low 40s or something. 40, so that's a huge number.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a big fan of this guy.
I want to give a shout out to Prospect Savant. I don't know if you've ever seen this site. Just kind of it's kind of a little bit basic, but this guy uses the AAA and A-ball Statcast data, puts together a nice little leaderboard here. And there's an age range. I don't see the guy we're talking about though. So anyway, all right, a little free promo for prospectsavant.com. Some prospect data there as well.
Yeah, that's because he did not pitch in AA, or he did not pitch in A-ball or AAA this year. He was high A in AA. So those numbers, those numbers are all based off of A-ball from last year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep, but 115 F stuff. So, and again, 17.7% swinging strike rate on the season.
Yeah, and important to note that the F stuff scores will be there. You don't need the Statcast stuff from the minor leagues to get an F stuff. There's other ways to derive it. It's probably not quite as accurate, but it's still there. So just like this F stuff in this case isn't coming from last year like the pitch mix stuff is. It's a better number. It's more dependable. So.
Yep. So now we're gonna get to the top 10. Number 10 is Slater de Brun, who is not a pitcher. That's a typo on me. Sorry, my bad, John. So Slater de Brun is an outfielder, and the Orioles had like 4 picks in the top 40 or something like that this year. And so Slater de Brun was a high school pick, and he's picked at 37 overall. And he's a hit first guy, so he's known for his hit tool. And I don't think he debuted even at Complex.
No, he's
he
not here.
Probably did Bridge League, so we have 0 stats on him. But do know that he's a hit first guy, very interesting outfielder. That's Slater de Brun. And he went fairly high. He's already been picked in this tool shed mock. We're in like round 9 or something like that, and it's 15 teams. So you can do the math on that. He's a top 150
what do you think
player
of his face?
League.
Is that a baseball face? What's the F face score? It looks pretty good.
F face, solid F face. He's got the flow going in the hair.
Yeah.
So trying to copy jaw. Jackson a little bit. Yeah.
It's like a big boy.
Yeah, just neck size.
Oh,
neck size looks above average.
Oh, these guys look jacked. Yeah, oh my goodness. Look at that guy.
Yeah, there's Slater. So number 9, we're gonna go to another player here that was just drafted. Is Caden Bodine, who's a catcher. He's actually gonna stick at catcher. I don't think Bodine debuted as well, if I'm correct about that. And Bodine he's a switch hitting catcher, by the way. He was picked 30th overall, so he was picked just ahead of Slater de Brun. Oh, he did debut. Look at that. He played 11 games at A-ball, so we do have some statistics here for him. No home runs, but a 132 WRC plus. Was taking some walks, and this is one stat that actually kind of matters a little bit over that. Is an 85.7% contact rate. So in 11 games, the contact rate, it's not quite stabilized over 43 plate appearance or 43 at bats, but it's not nothing.
There's 50 plate appearances. That's like you saw 250 pitches, so something.
Yeah, it's not nothing. So I think you gotta, and he's known as a good defensive catcher too. So like defensive and hit guy first. So I don't know, maybe you get a Patrick Bailey-ish type guy here for Caden de Brun, which is not bad in some leagues. Number 8. This is
what kind of leagues is that not bad?
Deep leagues, man. 2 catcher leagues.
Wouldn't you be better off not starting somebody than Patrick Bailey?
Patrick Bailey was bad this year, but last year he was not bad. Number 8 is Wehiwa Aloy. I'm not Samoan, so I'm not really
no chance you said that right.
My Espanol is much better than my Samoan. But Aloy probably going to be a third baseman. He was a shortstop. He won the Golden Spikes Award for the best player in college this year. So there is that. And he was also one of these first round picks or whatever that the Orioles had. He went 31st overall in this draft. And he also did debut. So we actually do have some numbers for him. And he played in 20 games. So we have a much larger sample size. And over those 20 games, 2 home runs, 6 steals. You can see the only F score thing that's stabilized so far is the hit tool, which gives him a 98, which makes sense because he's not a hit first guy. He's a power first guy. So 71% contact rate. But 2 bombs and 6 steals over 20 games. You can see he's already been striking out a lot, 27% K rate. So we do have Ks, but he's going to be a nice power source for shortstop and third base here from Arkansas.
Confidence with the button-down shirt, the Matt Holliday not buttoning those top ones. You love to see that.
Oh, yeah. That he's going to hit some bombs with that. Tattoos. He's going to jack some bombs.
You don't see too many. What'd you say he was? Where is he from?
Dude, look at that name. Where do you think he's from? He's Hawaiian.
I don't want to make any false claims these days. You can get in trouble, but
yeah. Oh, he's for sure Hawaiian. If he's not Hawaiian, then he's Californian Hawaiian.
Hawaii. You're good.
See? Yeah. Boom. There you go. Playing in the SEC.
But you don't see many Hawaiian Major League. I don't know. Have there been any? I can't.
Colton Wong. Colton Wong, my boy. Oh yeah.
Hawaiian. You definitely would have thought Asia somewhere.
I don't know. Is Connor Wong the brother for Colton Wong? I want to say that he's his little brother, but I may be wrong on that. This is the relation podcast here.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh, Keen Wong is his name. I remember he had a brother. I think his brother also played in the minors or something like that. Is that his name? Keen
This
Wong.
Could be wrong. This stuff is never super reliable.
Check it out, man. There it shows Keen Wong right there by the Rays. I knew he had a brother.
There is a bit. Okay.
Yeah, boom. See ya. I know a little bit. Number 7, starting pitcher Trey Gibson. We'll have stats for him. He pitched in AAA, so we're gonna have pitch level data for him.
Kyle Gibson.
No relation. Even though yes, Oriole, no relation here. Trey Gibson kind of came out of nowhere this year. Really strong year. Again, he did struggle a little bit once he got to AAA. It's just a lot of pitchers that have problems with AAA when they first get there because they have to get used to the ABS. And especially for guys that are not primary, like fastball dominant guys. Like fastball dominant guys have a much better time at AAA than non-fastball dominant guys. But he runs 8% walk rates across the board, basically through all levels. And he strikes dudes out. So 13.5% swinging strike rate on the season, 23.7 K minus walk. What do our F scores have here on Gibson, John? 112 stuff, 110 control, 113 FERA. So above 10% league average on all those things.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good on all 3. So pretty solid pitcher here. Like maybe you don't have an ace because the stuff isn't to that level, but I think you have number 3, solid number 3 starter here for Trey Gibson, which I guess is what the Orioles need because they've got Bradish and they've got Grayson Rodriguez when he's healthy. So if he can come in and be a number 3 for him next year, that'd be awesome because he did pitch in AAA 7 starts this year. So he might be a guy who breaks camp, or if doesn't break camp, he's going to be up pretty early next year, I think.
If you had another son and you were going to name him Trey, how would you spell it?
Dude, I don't know. Trey, TR, probably how he does it. TREY. I'm white, so I would not put a TRE apostrophe.
Yeah,
because
of course.
I would be totally out of my element doing that.
Yeah, special characters are out. You can't do that as a white man. But so I have this because I wanted to name our third kid, our second boy, Trey. I just like the name. First of all, hard rule, I wasn't going to give any of my kids more than 2 syllables in their name and 3 or 4 letters. So all my kids have 4. I mean, my daughter's name is longer, but you can shorten it to a 4-letter thing. So Trey, Trey Turner guy. I'm not saying I named my child after a Major League Baseball player that I don't even know. That sounds like something way too fanboyish, but I guess I did. So basically I liked the name. And he's the third kid too, so Trey, kind of works. But I just spelled it, the dad has to fill out the birth certificate. So I go TREA. And then 2 years later, a year and a half later, my wife's like, yeah, why do we spell it like that? You should have spelled it TREY. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't know. I thought this was proper, but now apparently when some people see his name on paper, they're like, what was his name? Tria? Tria? And they're like, oh my goodness. So I feel really bad because in naming my children, like I only had one thing in mind, like make this real easy for them in school. We're not gonna like make them repeat the name or tell everybody how to spell it, but I guess I couldn't even pull that off. So
you mess it up. I have trouble with my daughter all the time because I have my second daughter. His name's Savannah, and there's an H at the end.
Yeah.
And my third kid is named Riona, and there's no
terrible.
H. There's no H.
That's your bad. Too.
Yeah.
And your name's Tim. Tim, such a good one.
Well, we have nicknames for them all. So it's like she's Rio, and then the other one is Sav. We don't even say Savannah. It's just Sav, like Savvy. Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Number 6, I named all the kids, so win for me. I'm 5 for 5. Where my name won. Where we're basically my wife and I, what we do is we would write down names that we like, and then we would go drink, and we'd be like, okay, and then, we would go to a bar, microbrew or whatever, and that's when it would be decided. And I have won all 5 of those battles.
I didn't even compete the first 2. I let it happen.
You just let it go. Okay, number 6, Michael Forret, starting pitcher with the Orioles. I actually just traded for him and said 30-team dynasty league that I talked about with Doc. I traded a expiring contract that I did not want to renew of Nico Horner. And what else? Christian Campbell for Michael Forret. Big win for me because I love Forret. Forret has like 10 pitches. This guy is one of my favorite pitchers in the minors. He's like
we can't see it. He hasn't been in AAA yet, so that's too bad. But
no, I have all his pitches. I'm pulling up his thing on my write-up right now because he's a top 150 prospect for me. So Forret is a big-time tinkerer. He goes to tread in the offseason and all this stuff, and which is like one of the reasons why he was so good this year. But he throws a fastball. He throws a sinker. He throws a sweeper. He throws a death ball. He throws a changeup. He throws a kick changeup. So he's got 2 changeups. He throws 2 fastballs, 2 curves, 2 changeups, and I think he's got another pitch. I think he throws a slider too. So he's got a ton of pitches, and he also has a really good command. So this is just a really fun dude to me. Oh yeah, he throws a gyro slider too. So this dude is just really fun because he's like basically like the Yu Darvish, just throwing all these pitches, and he's also really good at the same time. Did you pull him up on the F scores here? So we got him up. 118 F stuff, 119 F control, 112 F ERA. Those are all just phenomenal numbers for Forret. Just a big fan of this dude.
The big Arsenal thing seems to be more of a veteran thing, like you just said. Like typically that's what the major league players that are trying to hold on into their mid-30s kind of have to start doing to compensate for the loss of stuff that they had. But that's interesting to see. In the minor, I would guess that a lot of these guys typically kind of cut it down once they really take the next step up, or does that carry over?
This is the thing. All his pitches are good. So I graded all his pitches. I gave him a 55 out of 60 on the fastball, a 55 out of 60 on the splitter, on the sinker. I gave him a 60 out of 60 on the sweeper, 45 out of 50 on the death ball, 40 out of 50 on the change.
What's a death ball?
A death ball is basically just a spiked curve. That's a curve that you're
basically
just
call it a curve ball.
Because he throws 2. He throws 2, and then he's got the kick chain. And also, death ball is like a total tread thing. So tread is like Driveline's competitor or whatever, if you're not familiar. And they kind of invented the death ball. That's what for instance, Andre Palante throws his top pitch or whatever is the death ball, which is why he had like a 70% ground ball.
I hate that guy. I hate him.
That's all he does is just try to generate. He doesn't strike anybody out. It's just get ground balls.
We have a programming problem with all this because this is going to be a thing. We hear more and more about it every year. All these pitch variations where a guy has 3 different splitters or whatever, and eventually MLB is going to start classifying them all differently, and it's just going to make this stuff a lot harder. And then also, can we think of a descriptive name? Because like a curveball tells you what it does. It curves. Maybe it should be called a drop. I don't know. A slider, you can kind of understand. A fastball, fast. Change up. And then
death ball's just a spike ball, but literally that's what it is. It's a spike ball, but it sounds cool.
But it shouldn't sound cool. It should be somewhat descriptive of what the pitch is. I really reject the death
You're
ball
anti-death ball. Spike ball. You're pro spike ball, anti-death ball.
But spike doesn't do it either. I mean, that's a little bit
Well,
better.
I mean, that's what it is, though. It's literally a curve that you're throwing at the very bottom of the zone. It's a late break curve where basically all you're trying to do is get guys to hit the top of the ball, so it's the ground ball.
Call it a dropper or something.
A dropper.
Table topper. I don't know.
That sounds like, I don't know. A dropper. It sounds like you're taking medicine. Kick change, though, I throw a 50 out of 60. So, I mean, like, all those pitches are good pitches, so he's going to throw them all. But you see he's got a 274 JA ERA, really low walk rates, really high K rates. So, really fun pitcher here from Michael Forret. Number 5, that he's number 6. Number 5 is Aron Estrada. I'm like the highest guy in the industry on him. And you're going to spell him Aron, like Aaron. Yeah. It's just Aron. So Aron Estrada. This dude is going to get a major, which, by the way, John, we need an update on our age-adjusted WRC+. This guy's going to get a major boon in that because he was at AA as a 20-year-old.
I've been writing up football games and doing NBA DFS optimizers and stuff. I'm just like I'm way off course, so nothing on that.
Age-adjusted WRC+. He will kill on this. So this guy had a 135 WRC+ as a 20-year-old at AA this year, and he had 10 bombs with 34 steals this season with a almost 80% contact rate. So pull him up on the thing. Pull him up on the board because this guy, if you good contact rates, hits 300, has homers, has speed, and he is way under age to level. So he basically ticks all the boxes. Like, he's not elite, and he's only 5'8", so it's like, okay, well, like, what's he really going to get into? There's no way this guy's only 142 pounds. Fangraphs has him listed as 142 pounds. Like, one of my kids is almost 142 pounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's 140. This ain't 1916. Like, we don't weigh 142 pounds in America anymore.
Apparently, he also played for Crimson Tide. Here he is.
So, he's a middle infielder, not a pitcher.
Well, okay, there's a basketball player with the same name. So
yeah, Aron, there he is. Aron Estrada, switch hitter. So he's a switch hitter, and is really good. I just really like him. I think he's like above average at everything, and he was doing that at a way under age to level, and nobody talks about him. I'm like the only person that's talked about this guy ever, as far as like other prospect people. And guess what? As a switch hitter, he hits both sides. He's definitely better as a lefty against righties, but he's not terrible. So, like, he's actually going to keep the switch hitting thing going, like 76 and 79% contact rate. So he's not terrible at one side. So he actually is like a legit switch hitter.
Okay. I've been slowing this down, but I got to get my kid in 10 minutes. So.
All right. Number 4, Ike Irish, just drafted. Don't have a lot on him yet. I do like Ike Irish a decent amount. He had a kind of a bad debut, but like it wasn't a lot of at-bats. But I comped him to Jack Clark in my comps. He has like an old timey like 80s 90s swing. He's got that body. He was a catcher in college for Auburn, jacked a ton of home runs, and is supposed to move off to the outfield. I guess kind of like Kyle Schwarbery, where he's got good hit, good power, bad speed. Iffy plate approach because there's a bunch of Ks there. So that's Ike Irish. Number 3, Nate George.
These two guys we probably could have spent the whole episode on. These are the Tim's favorite players, Nate George and Dylan Beavers. I already know that.
Yes. So Nate George, I picked him in the thing in like the 5th round or 4th round or something like that. 4th round in the tool shed thing. But I love the F scores. So this dude I was really high on already. But then when we got the F scores from him, I got way higher on him because his power score was way higher than expected. Just because, and I was like, how is George? I asked you, I was like, how is George's power so high on this? That seems off because his ISO is lower. And then you're like, it's the league, man. Like, look where he was playing. And I'm like, oh, you're totally right. So that's something to keep in mind. The F scores have league adjusted attributes to them. So this is all based off of the league. So his power was still above average for the league that he was playing in. So that's something to keep in mind.
But maybe it's doubles power rather than homers, which is less appealing for fantasy. I mean, 2 home runs and 280 plate appearances is really bad no matter what. But 19 years old and a 457 slug is quite good. But he must have had a ton of doubles.
This is one thing that when I was back on Prospect One, when I was doing Prospect One every week with Welsh, one of the things that we would always talk about is with younger guys, doubles power turns into home runs power generally. Like 19-year-old, and he's not small, 6 foot, 200 pounds. So I mean, like that doubles power could easily translate into home run power at some point in the future. And he did. When you combine complex, he had 5 home runs. So it's not like
he's the top grade overall in the system.
overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the system. Yeah, he's the top grade overall in the syst Yeah, I like him a lot. Number 2, Dylan Beavers. This is like my favorite guy this year. So Dylan Beavers, I liked him a lot last year. I had him as like a top 75 prospect last year, but earlier this season, he made major changes where his contact rates just blew up. And I was like, okay, this guy went from like a 40 or 50 hit tool into like a 60 or 70 hit tool. Like he might have a plus hit tool now. A lot of people already know him because he's made his major league debut, but he's still a prospect per at bats. So really good plate approach, going to walk a lot, really great hit approach, really high contact scores, and there's a power speed combo in here. He had in the minors 18 home runs and 4 home runs in the majors, so 22 home runs between minors and majors this year. And then he had 31 steals, or sorry, 25 steals or 23 steals in the minors, 2 in the majors, so 25 home runs. So 22 homers, 25 steals in the minors this year.
That's
last year, 15 homers and 31 steals.
Yeah.
So you've got a good 20-20 player here with a great contact scores and great play approach.
18, 23, 304, 18% K rate in 94 games. That's really impressive.
Yeah, Dylan Beavers is really good, and he looks like Kyle Tucker when he's hitting. He has like the same exact mechanics as Kyle Tucker at the plate. So I profiled him and like I comped him to Kyle. I was like, he's like a mix of like Jaron Duran and Kyle Tucker, basically.
That looks just like Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, he looks exactly like Kyle Tucker when he's hitting. It's crazy. But he wears batting gloves.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Which I noticed Kyle Tucker with the Cubs had been wearing batting gloves probably because it's cold.
Chicago's cold.
Anyway,
yeah.
Chicago. Number 1 is Samuel Basallo. Everybody knows Samuel Basallo at this point. If you want to bring him up on the F score, it's just insane power. Like 20-year-old who hits the ball. Like what was his max EV? Like 115. Here you're gonna pull it up right here. 115.9 max EV is a 20-year-old at AAA this year. 108.3 90th EV is insane. The major league average is 104 for 90th. Yep. So he's 4 miles above major league average as a 20-year-old. He's only going to get stronger and hit the ball harder. And then also he has good angles for power. So, 40% pull rate is pretty solid. Like I think he's only improving that as he gets older.
I like the 41% ground ball rate. The power prospects, so often their power is held down early on because they hit too many ground balls. That could still be a problem for him, I guess. We could pull up his major league sample, but it's pretty small. But I was really struggling with where to rank him as well. Like, does he go ahead of Rutschman? Well, even just redraft. Yeah. I'm the redraft guy. I mean, for next year, what's the expectation for Basallo?
For redraft, I would pick Adley, and for dynasty, I would take Basallo. Is where I would be.
So is Basallo going to be like? He's not going to catch. He'll kind of split a little bit of catching and a little bit of DH and sit a little bit too. You think?
My comp to Basallo is Kyle Schwarber. That's my exact comp. I think he'll be backup catcher because he's a decent catcher. So I think he'll be and they already signed him long term too. Is another thing to note.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately
eligibility is huge.
I think ultimately if they don't re-sign Rutschman, Bodine will then become the catcher, and Basallo would just still be like the backup catcher / like DH left field. Maybe they would try to hide him in left field, do some Ivan Herrera type stuff with him. But a spectacular hitter like that bat's going to be in the lineup all the time. He's not going to get catcher reps for at bats. He's going to get Schwarber reps.
But he'll get enough.
How good
I mean that is a good thing for fantasy that you don't have to do.
It's a great thing.
But will he lose catcher eligibility eventually? I guess you're saying maybe 3 or 4 years down the road, but he's safe for a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So that's the top 20 for the Orioles. Great system, I think. And I know John has to go, so we'll wrap it up. You can find John, follow him on X at JohnPGH, and you can find me at Fantasy Aceball. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Drink some water, some catnip.
Watch if you can. Drink some water, drink some catnip, eat some catnip. Go crazy, people. And when you go crazy, the catnip, it will calm your mind. So you're like, yes, I need to subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse so I can beat everybody. So you get all the tools. You don't have to rely on us and to rely on who we're talking about to see the F scores. You can look up anyone's F score that you want. You can look up whatever data you want, and you can use the sliders to look over every time period. So you know that Luis De Leon is now a stud over his last 7 starts.
And the family tree organizational plot will be in the works soon. So
Trey versus Trey.
Yeah.
Peace out, everybody. See you next time.